And then Ronaldo!
That's that. And welcome back to my Outbounds YouTube channel. I am joined by a former guest, Dante. How you doing?
Yeah, bro, I'm not too bad. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. As I said, basketball's going good so far.
Yeah.
A bit of distraction, as you can see. The Mighty Blues still let me down every single day. Um, for people that are new here, Dante is an Arsenal fan, a Gooner. Are you happy with your team at the moment?
Why can you not be happy with your team? I mean, we're fighting for the title. I mean, if you spoke to me a month ago, I'd be over the moon. But if you ask me this question now, it can be disappointing, but we're still fighting.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
All right, so let's get into it. Cause obviously, for a huge amount of time, you guys were top of the league, and then you guys draw to Liverpool, then you draw to Southampton, then you draw to another West Ham, I believe. Yeah, as you can see from my background picture, that's when Saka missed the penalty, letting his club down the way he let his country down, and then you guys got slapped up by Man City. What do you think the poor form has been down to in recent? Even though you beat Chelsea yesterday, which beating Chelsea doesn't really mean much. What do you think the poor form has been down to?
I don't. You know what? I think it's just small margins. I think if we go back. Let's go back to like Liverpool game. After that game, I was saying it was 2 points dropped at the start. Like as soon as the game finished, I was saying 2 points dropped.
Yeah.
Reason being, we were 2-0 up and we was cruising like 40 minutes in and stuff. But I think I'd say after like 2 hours after watching the game, when I really thought about it, I think it was a point gain. And I still think it's a point gain. Like if we're talking like right now in the present moment,
For the
only
Liverpool
reason
game, that is,
being,
right?
huh?
For the Liverpool game, that is, right?
Yeah, 1
No.
point game, Liverpool game. Reason being is because Liverpool actually played well in the second half, and obviously they had Salah missed a penalty, which is usually Salah doesn't usually miss penalties, and
Yeah.
Salah not Salah, Ramsdale actually kept us in the game, so Liverpool could have easily gone and won that game. So the Liverpool game was definitely a point gain, but the West Ham game and the Southampton game is games that you don't expect Arsenal to drop points in, especially based on where West Ham and Southampton are currently in the table. I mean, if you look at the West Ham game, Saka missing a penalty. Yeah, like if you look at if you like, if you look at it, like Saka doesn't miss pens, and also we was 2-0 in that game as well. Also, if you're looking at like the goals that West Ham scored, they scored a penalty. The reason why it was a pen because Gabriel was stupid as well. Like, why are you diving in? Partey, like Partey messing around the back, trying to I don't know what he's trying to do, like try to get the ball over Declan Rice's head. Like, come on, like that's so stupid. So yeah, that was 2 points dropped in that game. And in the Southampton game, I don't even like honestly, when it was 3-1, it was one of those things that's like you just turn off the TV.
Yeah.
But then when you check notifications, you see that we've drawn, you're like, oh, okay. But then you're still disappointed because you're thinking we should be winning that game. And after like watching the highlights and stuff, we still actually hit the bar when it went 3-3. And like there was a couple of penalty shouts. And if you're looking at even at the Southampton game, Ramsdale made a mistake. Gabriel, one lapse of concentration, then Southampton score a set piece. So it's all fine margins at the end of the day. And if you look at it, it's not like Arsenal getting dominated. It's just silly mistakes that Arsenal are making. I'd say the only game that we've been dominated off the park is the Man City game in which they beat us 4-1. I mean, us scoring a goal was actually a big surprise to me because I didn't even see us scoring.
Rob Holding for that matter as well.
Pardon?
Rob Holding for that matter as well.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't know, like mathematically, I know you're going to ask me this question, like if we can still win the league. It's mathematically possible, but the way how City have been playing and the fixtures they've got left, I think it's City's to just go and win it now. The only games I can maybe see them dropping points in is Brighton away. But saying that there are fixtures there that they could drop points in, but based on how well City have been playing, I can just see them beating those teams. So
But yeah, just one last one I want to touch because obviously we talk about how you said was surprised that Arsenal scored and it was Rob Holding that got the goal. A lot of people have tried to, or Arsenal fans have tried to put this down to Rob Holding. Talk about if Saliba was there, we wouldn't be losing all these games and whatnot. Do you think the omission of Saliba has actually created this big of an issue, or do you think there's other factors that has decided this title so far?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't think it's down to Rob Holding. I would say the only game that Rob Holding has been disappointing in has been the Man City game. Like the other games hasn't been down to Rob Holding. Like I said, it's just small margins. If Saka scores a pen against West Ham, we don't talk about how what's
Rob
the word?
Holding.
Yeah, we don't talk. You don't talk about Rob. Not even just Rob Holding, just the team in general.
Yeah.
Like even if you look at the Liverpool game, like even when you look at the Liverpool game, it's like Zinchenko messing up on the second goal, and
Yeah.
I was screaming at the TV, "Bring Tierney on!" And then when it's like one lapse of concentration from Zinchenko, you're like, it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't put it down to Rob Holding. Obviously, Saliba's a massive player for us, but I wouldn't put that bad run of form all down to Holding because I'd say there's been other players that have messed up for us, and especially
Yeah.
in that Man City game where the whole team just didn't turn up on the day. So
Do you think that this Arsenal team have started to crumble under the pressure of being in the title race? Because as a lot of people always say, coming into the season, a lot of people do really have Arsenal even finishing the top four. And now they've reached the point where they were challenging for the season. They've been top of the league majority and whatnot, but then this is pressure that they haven't faced before, or a majority of them haven't faced before, whereas Man City have. So do you think the pressure is finally getting to, because it's a bit of a coincidence that the game they win against Chelsea yesterday was they win that game after Man City overtakes them, where as in the pressure lessens a bit for them to go on and win the league. So do you think this team is actually feeling the pressure of being in a title race?
I can understand why people are saying that only because like us just dropping points against teams that you're not supposed to drop points against. Maybe you can say Saka missed the penalty. Pressure did get to him. Yes, I can understand that. Ramsdale
With
making a
Euros,
mistake for the first goal, you can understand pressure getting to him. But even then, Ramsdale making a mistake in like literally the first minute is unlike Ramsdale.
yeah,
So I can understand why people are saying the pressure is getting to Arsenal, especially that we've never been in this position before. But the word bottling coming into this equation, I don't think bottling should be used in terms of us like not winning the league. The reason being is because Man City are a great team, and most people
yeah,
expected City to win the league, and most people didn't even expect Arsenal to finish in the top four. So even though we've been top of the league for like most of the season, I wouldn't really call it bottling, in my humble opinion. But
I get where you're coming from. I think the only reason why I've used the word bottling in the past is simply because, as you mentioned before, even though you didn't come into the season with expectation of winning the league, I do believe as the season goes along, expectation changes. And
true.
I think at a point like Arsenal were 8 points clear of Man City,
Hmm.
and the way they were playing, it was like there's no one that could challenge them. I mean, you see what Martinelli was doing, Saka was doing, Odegaard was doing. It seemed like a team that couldn't be broken down. So it was kind of replaced, and especially if it, I mean, there's been seasons where it's in if those 4 games that they dropped points in was spread out over the course of the season. So maybe they lost one of these games back in September and they lost one of these games back in like January. You know what I mean? But when you start losing 4 back to back to back to back, oh, you start dropping points back to back in crunch time of the season. I do feel like that's when I do see it as a bit of a bottle, if you get where I'm coming from.
Mm.
But saying that, if Arsenal don't win the league this season, do you feel like it's a failure or is it just disappointing?
Okay, there's two ways that he has to look at it. First and foremost, yes, I think it's a disappointing season only because where we have been throughout the majority of the season. But then you could also say no because not many people said that Arsenal was finishing the top four. So
Yeah.
you could maybe call that progress, like battling City all the way to the end of the season. So there's two ways how you could say it. Yes, so yeah. in my personal opinion, it'll be a disappointing end to the season. But if you look at it like from an outside fan, you could also say it's progress, and we're back in the Champions League for next season. So it's a win-win, but at the same time, it's disappointing.
Yeah, because I was just gonna come to that is I've seen a lot of people talk about how this is an opportunity missed, and is because like obviously you'll think United will get better next season, Liverpool will get better next season, um
Newcastle will get better
Chelsea
next
get better next season,
Chelsea will not
Newcastle will get better next season, and all
leave
that kind of
Chelsea
stuff.
in this bracket. You're still you're the thing is with Chelsea. Chelsea's in a situation where Arsenal was in what 3-4 years ago.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, yeah, there's a lot of teams that are going to be back next season, like Newcastle, like I just said. Brighton will strengthen as well, based on the fact they're
yeah.
going to hopefully be in Europe next season. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so the part I'm gonna come to, do you feel like this has been an opportunity missed for Arsenal?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you've got Liverpool. That's like Liverpool have not been doing well. Chelsea have not been doing well. Man United have dropped off. No, Man United have had a good season, but like let's just say they haven't been consistent because if you
Yeah,
look at last week, Man United drawing to Tottenham, in which Tottenham lost 6-1 to Newcastle. You don't expect that from United. But
yeah.
then also you got United losing 7-0 to Liverpool. Man United have those results in them. So, but what I would say, Man United I'd say are like 2-3 players away from challenging for the lead next season. So yeah, so in my opinion,
Yeah.
I think it is a missed opportunity only because of the other teams that are going to be strengthening for next season as well. So
And if there is a situation whereas in Arsenal don't win the league, are you confident that the right thing could happen over the summer, that Arsenal will still be able to compete for the league next season? Or is it one of those things as you feel like the loss of the league will be so detrimental to the club that they might not be able to recover to actually go and compete next season?
I'd like to think that the players that are not Arsenal at the moment. For example, you got people like Declan Rice. They might see, oh, Arsenal went all the way to challenging for the league, and they're in Champions
Yeah,
League next season. So that might entice Declan Rice to say, okay, I'm going to come to Arsenal and make them get over the line to win the league next season. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I think Arsenal will be in and around it next season because we'll also strengthen in that we need to strengthen as well. Like there's a
yeah,
couple of players that we need because like based on the fact we're going to be in Champions League as well, we're going to be in like more competitions, and it won't be sustainable for us to just play like just a starting 11 where we don't change it because this season we haven't really changed our start 11. It's only like yesterday where we like played Jorginho, we played Trossard, we played our new defender Kivior.
yeah.
So that's what we need to be doing, like strengthening in the summer as well, and we can definitely keep it going. And so yeah,
No, 100%. So just one point that you came to, because you spoke about how Arsenal changed it for the last game when they swapped the centre back, they started Trossard and they started Jorginho. Whereas before that, it seemed like Arteta kept on going with the same 11 that was dropping points. How big of an actually, I don't want to say because obviously Arteta has done a very good job this season, but how much do you think is inexperience, or how much do you think he's contributed to Arsenal not being able to potentially get over the hump?
yeah, Arteta is definitely part of the reason why people might say we've bottled, but I don't think it's bottling because there's times where Arteta will take so long. Like when I mean so long, like
Yeah,
he's moving like Wenger sometimes, where he takes so long with his substitutions. Like when I go like I'll go back to the Liverpool game, like I was screaming for like Tierney to come on, especially the fact that we was 2-1 up as well. Like we don't need to chase the game, like we just need to see it out. And based on like Zinchenko is not really a good defender, but he's a good player going forward. That's why I was saying, okay, can
yeah,
you bring on Tierney and shut the game out? Um, there's also like games against City where you think Pep knows Arteta. So do you think instead of like playing the same way, why don't you maybe try and change up a bit? So
yeah,
like for the City game, I was saying because Zinchenko is going to be coming inside the midfield, why don't you play Tierney? Because whoever's going to be playing on the right flank against Zinchenko, Zinchenko could get exposed. So there's little things that I see in Arteta that I also see in Wenger, but at the same time, Arteta has done very well, and like he's won what 3, 4 manager of the months, and he's in
yeah.
contention to be not player, manager of the year, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So
Okay, and like the big question: do you believe Arsenal can still win the league? This, 'cause I mean, even the way I'm asking the questions, and you see where a lot of Arsenal fans have been talking as well, is like the league is done. Like a lot of people have given in, throwing the white flag, all that kind of stuff. But then there's also been others saying, as you mentioned, it's still mathematically possible,
mm,
and City can still slip up. Because remember, the discord around Man City early in the season was, and I was saying as well, they took a step back, but I do think where they have improved massively recently was when, and I think Henry mentioned as well, is how Haaland has improved his overall game.
mm,
'Cause just looking from the beginning of the season to now, and even though the goals were consistent, his style of play was just always looking to run in behind, and they were saying that they weren't finding. But you could see he was coming in, trying to improve his hold up, his link up play, and I feel like that's when City have been able to take a bigger leap towards the end of the season. But at the same time, like you have seen that they can be beaten at times. So do you think is a thing whereas in Arsenal can still win the league, or for you is it done?
for me, I actually think it's done. Like I
Oh
said,
man.
no, hear me out, hear me out. Like I said,
Yeah,
with me, it's like if I say okay, we're gonna go and win, we can still win. No, there's two different ways saying. If I say we're gonna go and win the league still, it could sound like I'm deluded because if you look at it, like we still got to play
yeah.
Newcastle away. If we lose the Newcastle game, then
Oh,
it's
it's
like
finished.
yeah, exactly that's what I'm saying. But if I
Yeah,
was the person that said it's done from ages ago and then we still don't win it, then it looks like I'm a smart fan. But then that's why I'm looking at it realistically as well. Like I said, the only games I see City maybe dropping points is Brighton away. Um, people might say Everton away, people might say Brentford away as well. But like I
Chelsea.
said, see you have the experience of like just coping under pressure. And
Yeah,
because you have the squad depth as well, like for example, like like against City were playing Fulham at the weekend, like De Bruyne was out, but Julian Alvarez came in and still managed to get a goal for them. So
yeah,
just squad depth will just get them over the line. So
yeah,
I'm I'm slightly confident it can be done, but in my eyes, I think it is done.
yeah.
So but the
Um,
way how I do see it, I just want Arsenal just to win all their games and make sure that they don't crumble. Because say for example, City do like drop more points than expected, and we're not there to capitalize, we'll be saying, "Oh, we should have won this game, etc., etc." So
yeah,
if we say okay, if we say like we get to like the end of the season and it's still there for us to win it, then it's good. Obviously, but if say for example we lost against Newcastle, we lost against Brighton at home, then it's like
yeah.
you could say that we could end up finishing third if we kept losing our games basically. So I just hope Arsenal just take listen. Make sure you get to 40 points and make sure you get in the top 10 because hey, because
That's none of my business. I said I'm worried about the top of the league.
bro,
I'm right there with Man City.
but this is what it's come down to though. Rival fans literally preying on Arsenal's downfall, not focusing on your own team. Like you guys are
No, I mean
closer to
I have
winning.
to because I said I've checked out of Chelsea back in January, anyways. And
Yeah,
plus, I think with Chelsea, we can't really be compared to United because whether you guys like it or not, in recent history, we've actually won something. So, I mean,
why
it's
are
one
you
of those.
saying you've won? Like, come on, can we just focus on this season? Like,
No, but what you're saying, but I'm saying like the season has been so poor to the fact,
yeah,
whereas in nothing has surprised. Like there's been times whereas in we've lost to Arsenal, and it's been like, but why the fuck did you even win? And but then that's when Odegaard scored, I even claps his goal because it's like I don't. It's one of those things. I'm just hoping with everything behind the scene, the board and stuff, Chelsea, just make sure we don't have the same thing next season. Like
mm.
nothing really angers me or frustrates me. Like it's beyond sadness at this point. So I had to focus, but at the same time, I am still a Premier League fan, so I'm focused on what's going on at the top of
You're
the
a
league.
Chelsea fan with chest. You got the top on and everything.
Again,
You're rocking, but you got like a big sack of.
two-time Champions League winners, only Champions League winners
This is
in
what I'm saying,
London.
guys. This
So
guy will bring me on and we'll talk about the past, even though he's talking about
wait,
what can.
wait, we just spent 90 minutes talking about Arsenal, and all I did was just pray you guys do finish third. You're the one that brought Chelsea up. But back to the regular programming. Actually, actually, As you did
Oh, this
mention,
guy.
okay, so let's just accept that the league is done, for example. You just mentioned something about with like Man City's depth, they were able to bench KDB. I mean, you look at Alvarez, for example, he'll be a starter for a lot of teams in the Premier League, but then he's back up to Haaland. There's been games like Mahrez doesn't even start because of, but Mahrez does on the right wings for a lot of teams in the Premier League. What positions do you feel like Arsenal will need to strengthen going into next season? And those positions you mentioned, do they need a starter there or quality backup?
I think we need another midfielder. No, we need two midfielders actually. Because Xhaka's aging, um, and Partey's also aging, so we need two young players. So I've been saying like the start of the season, like I want Declan Rice. Like at the same time, I want Jude Bellingham as well. But like,
Who's going Madrid?
yeah, but he's gonna go Madrid. So I'll take Declan Rice. Um, I don't think we need any attackers, to be honest. Because we got a lot of depth. Maybe a replacement, maybe a backup to Saka, maybe. But then we got like Reece Nelson, who's not a bad backup.
Yeah.
I would say we need a backup striker, like someone different to Jesus.
You're
Because
not a fan of Nketiah?
pardon,
You're not a fan of Nketiah?
I wouldn't say I'm not a fan. Because like there's qualities I actually like in Nketiah. He's not. There's times we can finish, there's times where you cannot finish, but he's the same player as Jesus. Like, say for example, we need a goal. We don't want to bring on the same type of player.
I've,
Like,
I've seen a lot of people talk about
like for
they'd
example,
rather have
sorry to cut.
Balogun.
Go on, go on.
Wait, sorry, I've seen a lot of people talk about they'd rather have Balogun as the backup instead of Nketiah.
Mm,
And you see what Balogun is doing in
mm.
League One. So
But the thing is, we need at least three strikers if we're going to be competing in the Prem, the Champions League, and then when it comes around like FA Cup as well. So, and it doesn't take much for injuries to take place as well. Say for example, Jesus got injured, and then you have and then our second like our backup got injured, then we don't have anyone, and then our squad is thin. So, like for example, I was just gonna say like with City, like Harden and Alvarez are two different players. Where with Alvarez, he can run in from behind, and then like Haaland, he can like hold it up and can still run in behind. So
yeah,
yeah, but yeah, if you want to know any of what players I think we should get in summer, you should look out for a video that I'm going to be trying to do at the end of the season. So yeah,
you heard that early preview
early
and
pre.
all that kind of stuff. So but yeah, as I said, it's really kind of interesting to see the position because for a long time, I used to think that, you know what, Arsenal are clear favourites. And it wasn't even an agenda because I wanted, obviously, not that I want Arsenal to win the league, but I felt like the form that they were in was just too good and I just couldn't see where they would slip up. But I do think the dropping points to West Ham and Southampton is a bit embarrassing.
That's where we
Like,
lost it.
yeah,
That's
and
what
I feel the confidence from that then going into Man City was just a bit
a bit too
mad.
much.
But you guys did beat Chelsea yesterday. Charity FC
But
did it again and stuff like that. But I'll be there for when you guys next, please. Because as I said, we're in the mud, so we're shameless over here.
At least you lot managed to get a goal last night because I don't know
Yeah,
where your goal was going to come for like goal of the month and all that stuff. But hey,
yeah. I mean, we left with something. You see, Noni got his goal, and you see what Modric was doing to
and hold
Ben
on,
White.
and what was that down to? Zinchenko, by the way. Okay,
So,
cool.
so you're
Exactly.
not a fan of Satenko.
Yeah,
Um,
he can't defend Zinchenko. That's why I was saying
yeah,
like Teddy needs to start some games, man.
yeah.
But yeah,
And then you also got Modric who was sitting down Ben White. He was like, sit back down, what you mean? And all that kind of things right there.
you lot bought Mudrik for 100 mil, and we got Trossard who's balling out right now for
63,
27
man.
mil. Like,
You got Modric for
I would have loved Trossard. Like, you know, would have loved Trossard. But and the
I
thing
don't
is,
know.
with our players, like from like January, I was saying we need players that can fit in the squad right now, not players
Yeah,
that will be like long term, for example. Especially when we was
yeah.
fighting for the league, like. That's what I was saying. We need like players like Jorginho, who was used to be at Chelsea. He dominated the midfield yesterday.
Well,
Unlike
that's what he did. I feel a
Hernandez,
bit sorry for Enzo.
5 mil, Kovacic, Kante. Like,
Watch out for the only London club to win the Champions League. Ooh, we're cooking
You know what I
something.
mean?
We're cooking. So I'm just saying, watch out for. Well, I didn't. I'm
This
not
was
talking
not
about the
the
past.
video.
I'm not talking about
You
the past. I'm
asked
talking about
me,
the
can we still win the league? And now you're pretty.
future. Okay. Anyways, lastly, before we go, obviously it might be too early to tell. We probably discuss this more in depth even next season. But
Yeah.
what do you think Arsenal can do in the Champions League? As you guys have never won it.
Like the thing is, there's a lot of good teams in the Champions League.
Yeah.
So we'll get pop. I think we'll get past the group stages. I think regardless of what group we're in. I'd say I like we're not in the Champions League just to like say I'll win Champions League. I want to win the Champions League. Like that's the one trophy that we need to win. Like
Yeah.
so if we're gonna think realistically, I'd say quarterfinals. Because there's like I said, there's a lot of good teams. Like if you're getting to the semi-final of the Champions League, you need to have a lucky draw. And when I mean lucky draw, I mean a lucky draw.
Or
So
you can just be better than all the other teams in the competition. I mean,
well, let's see, but that's all down to Arteta in terms of getting his players in for the summer.
yeah,
And if we get the players in, then we can go far in the Champions League. You never know. But if I'm
100.
looking at it, I'll be very surprised if we go further than the quarters. So yeah, I think we'll get knocked out of the quarters. So yeah.
No, that makes sense. No, really, really insightful. I do appreciate you for jumping on to discuss Arsenal. Probably gonna do like an end of season, so we'll see. Is Dante right? Will Arsenal not win the league, or will they win the league? I mean, there's still a lot of football to be played, and you never know. I mean,
There is a
City
lot of
on
football.
a borderline. I mean, you saw even though it's a bit different. You saw Liverpool towards the back end of the season, they were on for the quadruple, and then they were only able to win FA Cup and Carabao Cup. So we'll see how things go. Anything you want to shout out? Whoever stays to the end of the video.
Yeah, check me out on the Center Circle.
Yeah,
I'm on Center Circle on YouTube and Center Circle on Instagram. I've been a bit quiet lately, actually, but I'm gonna get those videos back up in
yeah,
the next couple of weeks or so as we come towards like the end of the season. So yeah, check me out on the Center Circle. But yeah.
yeah. I put the like your Insta and for both Centre and your private one in the comments below as well. And as usual, check me out on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Outerbounds_UK for daily sports content, Formula One, basketball, football. And you know what it is. Until next time, thank you for listening. Peace.